In the forgotten armpit of the world is a little town I grew up in called Uitenhage. It's a town well known for assembling Volkswagen cars and not much else. The Uitenhage Golf Club, where I got my first ever golf membership at age 12. It's my favorite goat track in the world. We used to play 18 holes for less than $1 back then, 23 years ago. Harvey and I once played 54 holes in a single day. We'd play and practice the short game from sunup to sundown. I played it again in 2018 and it was in tragic shape. There was a drought in my hometown and they were trucking in water just to keep the greens alive. This is where the golf journey of a YouTube legend began. The winner of the Mr. Short Game popularity match play contest of the universe, the slayer of top dogs and dons, and the #1 Lithuanian golf YouTube channel in the world. Hole 1 is a short par 5 that seems innocuous at first, but slopes into the water, so most people favor the right side. I usually favor the right side a little too much, hitting it toward the 8th green. There are so many memories in Uitenhage. One memory is the tree they had in the fairway that I would try land my ball at with my Slazenger wooden 2-wood. Now I carry the ball double that distance, when in fact I missed the little 2-wood shot landing next to the now absent tree. These days I have blue gums in the way, and the Aussies watching will understand how massive these bastards are. When I was 12, par was a heavenly start to any 17 handicapper's round. Today, it felt just like it did when I was 12. What a life, what a hometown. Hole 2 is a straightaway hole, but was extremely long for me when I was a kid. Pars here were very, very rare. Usually, we'd have to run it up with a fairway wood. I also didn't hit my wooden 2-wood and Pinnacle Extreme quite as far as this titanium Callaway Epic. Imagine the scene. You're 12 and you still have a shot longer than anything you have in the bag. Now, 20-some years later, I'm debating which wedge to use. Nothing has changed though. This is still a tough approach if you aren't landing it on the green. And if you are landing it on the green, you better have tons of spin and height, otherwise you're pitching back from the bushes. If you're coming from further out, you'll need to roll it up to take the slope left to right, and hopefully it settles on the green.
Very good. Oh! Good effort.
Hole 3 was always a tough challenge, and it's no surprise because it's still not easy. It slopes bigly to the right, plus the hole also doglegs to the left. You always feel like you want to draw it here, but pull a little and the well-established trees chew it up and spit it out directly downward. Then you're up Shizer Creek without a poodle. You'll be hitting 3-iron to raised green with a run-up area that slopes massively uphill and left to right. You're doing 25 to life with no parole on that approach. My chunky 3-iron left a long shot into the green. That is the exact opposite of what the doctor ordered. My intention here is to catch a 6-iron downwind and let it roll up the left side, taking the slope, letting it finish on the front of the green. You go over this green at your peril with the hard ground and thick bush, and you're dropping 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole. But as they say in the classics, you don't score until you score. Pitch it on, hole the putt, GTFO. GTFO. Something I noticed while watching this again is how much more time I took on my shots. Nowadays, I have been rushing my shots. I need to get back into the routine of being sure and committed to a shot. hate that par 3. Always have. It's usually into the wind, and let me tell you, the Eastern Cape of South Africa can get windy like a mother. I chose this hybrid here because this bush on the right contains a massive ball magnet. The wind magnifies the fade into a power slice, and finding the ball in the puffies is nigh on impossible. I know I can hook a hybrid, so that's what I did. Play it away from the bogeyman on the right side. When we hit into the wind, the temptation is to guide the golf ball. There is no guiding the golf ball. There is merely hitting the ball with a committed swing and allowing the ball to accept the elements. Last-minute guiding with your hands will result in balloon shots, slices, and duffs. If I could hammer one point into my own head, it would be to hit a normal shot that the wind can affect rather than hitting a shot I don't know how to hit to avoid the wind's effects. For example, if I hit a normal 5-iron into the wind rather than trying to hit a low stinger with the 7-iron, I reckon that out of 10 attempts, the 5-iron wins by a landslide. I just do not have the low 7-iron because I never practice it. Stress-free. The 8th here at Uitenhage golf course is one of those holes that is temptingly short, and when it plays downwind, the hard, dry ground makes it seem like it's easy to hit in one shot. Oscar Bravo to the left, and the blue gums are the trouble here on errant big bomb tee shots. It takes a pretty precise hit, and the little bunker short of the green scoops up a few balls when people try bomb it on. The greens used to be the best in the region 20 years ago. But Uitenhage is a town where no one comes to, they only leave. So the money has dried up, and so has the maintenance. The greens are very puffies, but good enough if there's nothing else around, I guess.
Swing.
That is big.
Fits up in his.
Good swing.
That is massive.
Fade.
Why do I listen to the fuck? You know you must hit the fuck. Yes, no raking the fuck. Oh yes, that's a great putt.
The 10th hole is quite good as well, with a little stream flowing through the fairway. The ground up to the stream slopes left to right, and then after the stream, it slopes right to left onto a raised green, which slopes away from us. Another tricky little hole. I think the design of this course is one of the best around, and if you could lay beautiful fairways and bent grass greens over the design, it would rival the best of the country. The up and down game was strong again during this round. Maybe the voodoo of being back in the place where the short game was honed put me in the zone.
I think you got a new driver.
I'll take one in Unbelievable. Oh, shocker. Absolute shocker. Yes, we can put that. Yeah.
The putting four-ball, this, huh?
Also,
Yes.
oh, no fade.
No, but it will come
Should
in.
kick, should kick.
It will come in.
There we go, look at that.
Look at on
What
now.
a shot.
Next to mine.
Yes.
No,
But it only wants to try come now at the end, huh?
didn't turn
Looks like it wants to.
dead straight. Well, that's what it looks like.
Players, this par 5 is so delicious. The landing area is pretty wide, so you're safe with most clubs here. You can go for the green and 2 on this one with the right length drive, but the approach is treacherous. You need to favor the left side of the approach area. Anything else funnels down the steep left to right slope into Never Never Land. You can end up 20 feet below the green in some cases. I didn't hit driver on this hole because mine had snapped on hole 10 after the bag fell off the cart. Straight after that par 5, we move on to another which is much simpler, except when the prevailing wind blows directly into your face. Once again, there are bushes right and left. The other tee provides a narrow avenue of blue gums to hit through, which rarely gets in your brain. They used to have a silly water hazard short of this green, which I'm pleased to see they removed. Hole 16 was never a par hole as a kid. This was a 2-wood and a 5-wood and a chip and a couple of putts. Let's see if we can do any better.
Oh, crunched.
I played my first ever full 18 holes on this course. It was the very next round after my first ever time on a golf course at Sardina 9-hole executive course. It was also the closest I've ever come to a hole-in-one. I hit a 3-wood from 150 yards as a 12-year-old. In my first ever round, it landed short of the green and rolled up the hard surface where it hit the pin square on and bounced back to 3 inches of the cup. I made my first ever birdie in my first ever round of golf, and it could have been a hole-in-one. What a life, what a day. With my driver broken and Harvey's driver in hand, I proceeded to hit a lovely power slice to within 2 yards of the Oscar Bravo. Cue the tuba. Players, this is my first home course. Yes, it's a goat track cabbage patch, but what a place. I was only a member here for 2 years before we moved to Johannesburg, where the greens are bent grass, the fairways are toit, and the weeping willows gobble you up without spitting you out.